Hey there. On this installment of life lessons I've learned that I now know to be true, today's life lesson is a pretty simple one, but it's not something that we've really been raised to understand, and it's this. You will always know when something is wrong for you. You have an infallible guide to tell you that this is not the path you should be taking and you are not in a situation that you should be in. The problem, as I mentioned though, is this isn't something that we're normally taught to be able to tune into. So you probably understand that the name of my coaching practice is Inner Oracle Life Coaching. And the reason I named it that is because, an oracle is like a truth teller. In ancient times, she would be the person that you would go to see to understand your fates and your futures, right? I believe that everybody has that innate inside of them. We just have to learn how to tap into it and then start to trust it. So the interesting thing about this inner oracle, you can call it intuition, you can call it your inner knowing, you can call it gut feeling, but it's actually much more refined and much more able to kind of be tuned into than just something that you might dismiss as, oh, that's just a gut feeling, that's not necessarily accurate. Gut feelings are actually the base layer of this thing. They're how you start to understand what this is for you. So we're taught that thinking is the best thing, right? Oh, look at the big brain on that one, right? We want people to be smart. We want people to use logic. We want people to think their way out of every problem that they find themselves in. And thinking is good. Like, you have to think, right? We can't just be mindless blobs. We have to think all the time to get through our days and do our jobs and maintain the things that we need to maintain as human beings. But when it comes to this inner knowing, the thing that always knows what's right or wrong for you, it does live in your body. It doesn't live at all in your brain. And in fact, your brain is its mortal enemy. So you can probably already see this isn't how, especially American culture, Western culture, really teaches people how to make decisions. Instead, we say, think your way out of it. What's your plan? Make a pros and cons list. And those things are good. Those things will give you kind of like the logical answer that the brain part of you needs to see in order to make a big leap. But what you can actually do once you learn how to tap into this infallible source is to start to test it out. Start to use it more and more and more, and you will see that it's actually true. And the more refined you get in being able to tap into that and use that, the easier, quicker, the better your decision making is going to be for you. So how do we do this? Well, the way that we do this is we tune into what our body is telling us about every situation. But we have to make sure it's real. So you have to be a person that is used to and able to being able to kind of get into your body, which usually involves kind of a state of meditation. So if you're not calm, if you're in a really frantic state, everything's going to feel terrible. The anxiety is going to be rushing up. You might feel, fluttering and sick to your stomach and all that kind of stuff. Possibly that's right. Possibly that's telling you the right thing. Or possibly it's just because you're in a maelstrom and you're overthinking it and you can't really understand which way you need to go. If you can get into a calm state, so even just by sitting for a little bit with your eyes closed, breathing in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Until you start to feel your body relax. Once your body is in that relaxed state, then we can go to work. We can start to learn this. So in that relaxed state, what I would have you do next, and this is an exercise I take all of my coaching clients through because they really need to understand how powerful this can be. So think about some things that you know you have to do this week. Maybe you've got to do your laundry, maybe you've got to go to the dentist, maybe you've got a big project due at work, and maybe you've got a dinner date with your significant other or a very good friend later on. So in that really relaxed state, I would have you actually mentally envision that event, one at a time. So picture yourself with this big project due, the deadline is looming, it's 8 o'clock at night, you've been working 12-hour days all week, you know you've got to get this thing over the line, but you get it done and you're satisfied with the outcome. Think about that whole project phase. Picture yourself being in it. Stay in tune and actually go inside and find out what your body is telling you. It will give you the symbols that you need to understand. For a lot of people, if it's a negative feeling, it'll feel physically closed off. If it's a positive feeling, it'll feel physically opened up. This is a very kind of ground level exercise. We go a lot deeper in my coaching practice in this, but it's one way to start to tune into that. Especially if it's a bad one, clear it all out, shake it off, just like a dog would shake off too much energy, a duck, whatever, any animal you've seen shake it off. That's actually really useful. It can dissipate the nervous or bad energy. And then do it for something that you anticipate being positive. Envision yourself on that dinner date with your significant other or out with your friends. Picture yourself there, talking to them, having your evening. Go into your body and see what your body wants you to know about it. It might surprise you. Maybe you really, really think you're looking forward to it, but maybe your body says you aren't. So again, these are really, really fundamental ground level instructions for how we do this. There's a lot more practice and we go a lot deeper with this in my coaching practice so that you can really start to tune into this. But the foundation of it, as you heard me say, the foundation of it is getting to a calm state where you can get in touch with your body. So if you're not already practicing meditation, I would encourage you to start it even for just 2 minutes a day. Even just the simple act of noticing your breath for 2 minutes a day and trying to dissipate your thoughts when the thoughts come up, because they will. That's what our brains are designed to do. When the thoughts come up, just notice it and say, okay, I'm having that thought, and then come back to your breathing. That's the basic groundwork that you need to be able to tune into your own inner oracle to find out what is right and what is wrong for you in every situation you find yourself in. Hope that was helpful.